My 29F fiancé, 28M, wants me to get rid of my cat, 13F, who is my best friend. To make a long story short, when I was 17 my best friend was killed in a hit and run and my pet-hating parents allowed me to get a cat as she was my only friend. I have autism and have always struggled making friends. And they assumed I'd find pet care too difficult and want to give her up quick. They were wrong, and 12 years later, we are still the closest pair of friends ever. I consider her closer than all of my friends, and they all know this too. She has gotten me through so much, and I know she loves me back as she shows all the signs cats do when they love you. Sometimes I think she may love me more than I love her, jokingly. I've never had any issues with her being bad or anything since we got her. She has multiple scratching posts and a cat tree so she never scratches furniture. I think she also knows I don't like it, so that's why as well. She has toys, 3 litter boxes I change regularly, etc. Not to brag, but I think I'm an awesome cat owner. I met my fiancé 3 years ago. She didn't care for him at first, but she started to warm up to him. He moved in about half a year ago, and that's when she started acting out, but only against him. Peed on all his stuff, his side of the bed, scratched his pillow only. We even switched the pillows to test it, and she chose the one on his side every time. We also switched the places we kept our clothes and items in. Never failed to choose his stuff to scratch and pee, never touched mine. I don't know what happened. I went to the vet about the pee in case of a UTI and they said she was perfectly healthy. At first, my fiancé found it comedic, as did I. We thought it was some sick coincidence. But eventually it got too much to be some funny coincidence, and he started to not like her in the slightest. He'd come home from work and ask if she was in the bedroom. I'd say yes, and he'd groan and sit in the living room until she left. He'd make fake hissing noises at her whenever she was in a spot he wanted to take. He'd make jokes about calling animal control and claim she was a violent stray cat. Stuff like that. He never physically hurt her. He refuses to even squish ants and is vegetarian due to moral reasons. But he definitely mentally messed with her. Last week though he came home with an ultimatum: him or my cat. I love him so much. He is the only person I've been with who has actually attempted to understand my autism and who I've been able to be completely 100% me with without any masking or pretending. Even my therapist has had good things to say about him. He helped me get through my dad's passing from COVID. He helped me get through the pandemic in general, as I'm a slight hypochondriac as well. But I could never just give up my cat. I love her just as much as I love him, as I explained that earlier. The one thing he hasn't seemed to got, despite understanding everything else about me, is how much she means to me. She doesn't do those things to anyone else. I had a friend stay with me for a bit under a year some years ago, and my cat didn't once do anything to her. They got along very well, in fact. I really hope none of this stuff sounds like bait or fake or anything. I'm not sure how to prove it's real. I just really do not know what to do, as I want both my cat and my fiancé, but he doesn't want her. Edit. I genuinely thought it was implied with me talking in past tense, but he doesn't do those things to her anymore, like hiss at her or chase her. I got him to stop. The most he'll do is boot her from places like many cat owners do, or just leave the room when she comes in. He stopped playing games with friends simply because she walked in, but I think that's better than chasing her and hissing at her. Also, I'm not asking if I should get rid of the cat. I will never get rid of her. I'm asking what I should do about the ultimatum and what I should do about my fiancé. Getting rid of her is not an option. It sounds like your cat could use the help of an animal behavioral expert, as her behavior seems to indicate that she is having trouble adjusting to your partner's existence and maybe feeling replaced or challenged in her position as your favorite. She adores you. Getting rid of her would be a horrible betrayal. Don't do it. You could tell your partner you will find and connect with an appropriate animal behavioral expert who can assist your cat through this change. If he sticks to his ultimatum, let him go. It's unreasonable. I mean, you wouldn't tell him to get rid of his best friend if they were struggling to adjust to your existence. There are other people out there who understand ASD or would be willing to make the effort for you. Don't betray your best friend for this guy. You said he mentally messed with her. What does that mean? This is not normal behavior for an otherwise well-adjusted cat. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he has been doing other things to mess with her that you don't know about, and her behavior is in response to that. I also have a cat. He'll be 17 next month. And if my boyfriend ever told me to pick between him and my cat, I'm choosing my cat. That said, you may want to stop moving the litter boxes around. My boy is usually good about finding the box, but he gets into moods and sometimes goes on the carpet where the box used to be. It's a lot easier to just put a big mat under the box to catch the litter. Just thought I'd mention it since your girl is getting older. Why would you want to marry someone who wants you to get rid of your cat? I think there is something going on regarding why your cat doesn't like your fiancé. Have you tried getting your fiancé to give the cat plenty of treats? Does your fiancé use a particular scent the cat hates? Like soap or deodorant? Did your fiancé hit your cat or something? Also, your fiancé is being an awe. Like doing hissing noises? Do you play with the cat so he is tired? It's pretty shocking your cat is putting a lot of energy on this given that he is old. I've had old cats and they are lazier. Has your fiancé really put enough effort on bonding with the cat? Or maybe the cat is telling you he is an asshole and you shouldn't marry him. He definitely mentally messed with her. What does this mean? Have you just let all this behavior go on unchecked? I would never rehome my cat for a partner, but this seems like your cat is feeling like their territory of getting encroached on. The cat peeing and scratching is her scent marking. Have you worked with your partner and your cat to try and make this better? Some things you could try is only he feeds your cat for the foreseeable. He plays with the cat every day. Keep his stuff somewhere the cat can't get at it to cut down on the marking. How do I move forward after my husband's mistake? My 35 female husband, 34 male, have been together for almost 17 years, married for 10. He was caught having an affair in January. They never had sex but had been talking since my birthday in October and had kissed twice. She is the wife of another member of our friend group. One of my stipulations for me staying and trying to work through this with him was therapy, which we are still attending. It's been going well for us talking and opening up about things he was never comfortable talking about, sex being one of them. Things are great most of the time now. But I can't stop replaying situations, red flags I missed, or the night he was caught in my head. And it's driving me absolutely crazy and making me question staying. He hasn't done anything wrong since then and has been actively working with me on our relationship. I don't understand why I can't get these thoughts to go away. Any advice on how to move forward? Too long did not read. Husband and I are working through affair he had. I can't get negative thoughts out of my head. Edit. I realize mistake was poor word choice on my part. Thanks. An affair is not a mistake, it's a choice. For many people, an emotional affair is far worse than a purely physical one. Some things aren't forgivable no matter how much you want them to be. Accept your feelings. Get a divorce. How do you know they never had sex? He started cheating on your birthday? You can try posting this on r/as1 after infidelity. It's a sub for those reconciling after an affair. Reconciliation is tough. Have you done much research into the psychology of affairs? Cheaters often trickle truth. And you may not have full disclosure even now. It's a form of self-preservation and it can be devastating for the betrayed spouse. Even if he is being honest, it can take anything from 3 to 5 years to recover from infidelity. Did the other lady's husband find out? If he hasn't, I think he should know. Also, I think it's going to take time and a lot of therapy and communication to help with what you are going through. A mistake is buying you daffodils when you keep saying your favorite flower is tulips. I honestly don't know how someone comes back from a breach of trust. My 34M wife, 35F, can't accept our daughter's 15F orientation. A month ago our daughter came out as bisexual. I've known she wasn't 100% straight for a while, but obviously I didn't say anything as it's not my place. I was happy when she came out. But my wife wasn't. She told her that it's just a phase, and that she shouldn't tell anyone else because it's an embarrassment to our family. Ever since our daughter came out, my wife has been mean to her. She forbade her from going to sleepovers because she doesn't want her turning completely gay. I didn't know my wife was homophobic. We don't have any homosexual friends, plus where we're from many people are homophobic. I've tried talking to her, tried opening her mind, but she wouldn't budge. And I can tell it hurts our daughter. I've tried everything and I don't know what to do. TLDR, our daughter came out and my wife is homophobic. It feel a bit crass, but your wife will soon learn to accept your daughter if wants a future relationship with her. Make sure your daughter knows that you accept her and love her for who she is, and hopefully your wife will come around eventually. Sorry, but for me this would be something I'd divorce over. Sure, you could try couple counseling first, with therapist whom isn't homophobic, but I really think this should be a dealbreaker. Her love for your child is conditional of her being fully straight. I think this speaks to the character of your wife and it's not pretty. It's going to and is doing damage to your daughter. I didn't know my wife was homophobic. We don't have any homosexual friends, plus where we're from many people are homophobic. Those last two sentences didn't give it away that she even potentially could be? Genuine question. How could you not know your wife is homophobic? Even with no gay friends and it being the norm. Didn't you have any conversations about what you would do if your child grew up to be X, Y, whatever? Protect your daughter. Make sure she knows you love and accept her. Say it out loud just to be sure. Make sure your wife understands she's only hurting her daughter and that being cruel will only alienate her further. Boyfriend says getting more tattoos is a dealbreaker after 2 years together. Me, 22 female, and my boyfriend, 23 male, have been together for 2 years. In that time he supported me through grieving the loss of my mom and we've moved together interstate for college. I currently have 3 small tattoos, 2 of which are in honor of my mom. The other night he basically said that he is so turned off by tattoos that if I get any more he feels like it is a dealbreaker in the relationship for him. He even confessed that he tries to cover one of my current tattoos up during sex because it is such a turn off for him. I was super hurt and told him that this whole thing just makes me feel like I'm being asked to stay the same and never change or grow throughout the relationship, but he said that's silly and it's not that deep because I've already changed as a person and he still loves me. IDK feeling confused and hurt because we've come so far over the last few years that it seems so silly to be upset over any hypothetical tattoos that I might not even get. Edit. Just wanted to say thanks for all of the perspectives everyone is giving. Some context. None of my tattoos currently are gory in any way, they are sentimental bits of small writing. You are at a crossroads. Attraction is important in relationships and for him this is the line. Tattoos seem to be important to you and maybe consider you two may not be compatible on a superficial level anymore. No one is the bad guy here. I am sure if he could force himself to like them he would. You're still young and you're going to keep growing and changing. Be true to yourself and don't let a partner hinder your growth. It's your body, but some people do find tattoos particularly unattractive or a turnoff. I've had conversations with friends who were trying to find ways to bring this topic up to partners without hurting their feelings. You and he have changed and will change over time, but tattoos are a choice and are permanent. Maybe this is a dealbreaker for you, but it's positive that at least he's being honest. I love tattoos so I can't relate to him, but him stating his preferences is fair. I would really struggle if my boyfriend got a bunch of facial piercings, for example. Would it be a deal-breaker? I can't really say, because I've never had to think about it. If he's otherwise incredibly supportive and kind, this seems like something that's just really deeply seated for him. As others have said, attraction is important, and you're essentially altering your body. You're still the same person, but it wouldn't be any different if you suddenly got a bunch of facial piercings, gained a ton of weight, dyed or chopped off your hair, etc. He may get over it, or it might be that unappealing to him that he's slowly losing attraction to you. As much as it sucks, this is a valid reason. You need attraction in a relationship. Seems like incompatibility may be prevalent here. Either one of you accommodates the other, come to a compromise, or break up. I understand him. I would lose attraction to my boyfriend if he started getting tats. It's not a disease or something I could accept, it's just unnecessary.